This is Tim Kelly, editor of the Suffolk Times. Welcome to our second podcast. This week we're going to be talking about a really big piece of news here. The Mattituck Boys High School basketball team is now the Long Island champs. And with me today is Times Review web editor Grant Parpan, who was at the game and provided live tweets of the coverage. And Grant, it was, you don't see these very often, do you?
Tim, to put it in the words of Bob Lipa, who has been covering sports for the Suffolk Times for I don't know, since probably before I was born, somewhere in there. I went up to him after the game, and the first thing he said to me was just, I have never seen a crazier finish than this. Mattituck was down by 2 points with 4.2 seconds left. And Steve Asher, who had just an amazing game for them, had finished with 23 points. He got up to the foul. He got fouled, went to the line, hits the first free throw. Malvern calls a timeout, so now we're talking a 67-66 lead. For the Mules, Asher goes back to the line coming out of the timeout, and he misses the free throw. So the ball's loose. The rebound goes to Cody Huntley for Mattituck. He turns a little post move, puts it up strong off the glass, misses, and you think the clock's just about to expire. You hear the buzzer go off, but just right before the buzzer, there was Steve Asher who put his hands out, tipped it up, and right into the basket. There was a brief pause, like, did they win? Did they not win? And then the officials ruled that they won. And everybody, all the sports writers who were covering the game were scrambling to figure out who knocked it in. But in the end, it was Steve Asher who gave them a 68-67 win for the Tuckers. Just an unbelievable. I'm telling you, Tim, I've never seen a game this crazy.
Now, Malvern, they're no pushovers.
No, they were. They entered the game 18-1, and it was funny. I actually peeked at, and just to be clear, sports writers have to do this all the time when they're writing on a tight daily print deadline. But I looked at Bob Herzog was covering the game for Newsday, and I happened to be sitting right behind him, and I looked at his screen at one point when he got up, and I saw his story. His story said Malvern 19-1 will now face, and he went on to the game Saturday, and so I tweeted, just saw Newsday's working lead. They have Mattituck losing. Jinx, I wrote. And sure enough, and I think at that point it was a 12, maybe even a 15-point game. And it just, I didn't get the sense that the Tuckers could win that game until they actually did. And not even to knock on them, because I do think they played a smarter game and they played very hard throughout the game. But it just seemed like, they were down from the opening tip. And
they didn't quit.
Well, actually, I'm sorry, they did actually score the first basket, but then they were quickly down. I think it was 9-2. And they never quit. They fought back. Malvern played not a smart game, a lot of fouls. They must have fouled Mattituck 30 times in that game, so it sent them to the free throw line a lot. Mattituck got a lot of their points from the line, and it was just unbelievable. And the crowd stormed the court afterwards, or a lot of people did who could get out there and just hugging the players, and it was something else. It was like a night for really anybody from Mattituck to be proud, for sure.
So they are now the Long Island champions.
So they are Long Island champions, and they play Saturday night. The game will be 7 p.m. at Farmingdale, and they will play the Section 9 champions, and that's John S. Burke Catholic High School. They're 19-2. I'm not sure where that is, but Section 9. There's an upstate school, John S. Burke Catholic, and they are 19-2. Mattituck 16-6. If they win that game, they'll move on to the state semifinals, which will be played in Glens Falls. I know Greenport's been up there a few times in recent years. Mattituck hasn't gotten that far. It's been since 1979. I talked about how Bob's been covering this since before I was born. Well, I was born in 79, so if that's the case, Bob was probably at that game in Glens Falls in 1979.
So that's basically the high school Final Four.
Yeah, Final Four for high school. A crazy weekend. If they could get there, I would have probably said to you before the game yesterday, listen, we don't have to talk about Glens Falls. Now I worry about if you're talking about them going to Glens Falls, maybe it's a bit of a jinx or whatever. But you know what? The way they played last night, beating a Malvern team that was that talented, they could beat anybody.
That's great. Now, we wish Mattituck the best of luck. Their next game again is when, Grant?
Yeah, it's Saturday. It's at Farmingdale. Don't worry if you can't get out there. We'll be there. I'll be live tweeting the game again. Thanks for all the people who followed. We had several hundred people following us last night, so it was really great to see. So thank you so much, and follow us again if you can't make it out there. But if you can, go out there. It should be another great game.
Okay. Well, thank you, Grant. That's been Grant Parpen, the web editor of the Times Review newspapers. I'm Tim Kelly, the editor of the Suffolk Times. Thank you for listening. We'll talk again real soon.